Good morning. I tell you, good to be back practicing. Uh, After a disappointing game last Thursday night, I thought that we had our chances. We just didn't get it done. Came back in the second half and actually took the lead there for a brief time in the third quarter, and just couldn't seem to get over the hump. So put it behind us, move forward. Have to go up to Duke, which is a pretty tough place to go play. Uh, I think Duke's a improved team. They don't have the wins to show for it, but I think they're a better football team than they were a year ago. Experienced receivers, tight end, quarterback, and defensively they've changed schemes and are playing pretty good. Changed to an 8-man front and have been in most every game with the exception of probably Stanford and Miami. So I guess Florida State got on them pretty good there early too. But a lot of games they've been in had a chance to win late, just hadn't pulled it off. So we'll see how we bounce back and see if we can go play one of our better games and take care of business.
I guess given the early start time and it can be somewhat quiet in that stadium, is that one of the harder places sometimes for the guys to come out and fire it up? And does it make it a little difficult not having a real active crowd situation?
Well, it's different. I think everybody has to, have their own way of getting ready to play. And to me, if you're a real competitor, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're going up there to compete and play, and you need to get yourself ready. I mean, if you have to have the crowd to get you ready, you might be doing the wrong thing.
Kind of ruin other things, but the indoor building, have you found any, I guess, unintended or unexpected benefits of having, and how's that worked out for you this year?
Well, the indoor facility's been great. I don't know that there have been any unintended benefits, but there's a lot of benefits. I mean, we go in there about every day. So in inclement weather, gives you a place to go. At least even when the weather's good, we kind of rotate in and out because we have to because of space. But, yeah, it's been invaluable. It's been a big asset for us.
What are you seeing from Sean Renfrey and the progress he's made over the couple of years we've been playing against him?
Well, I just think he's probably more experienced. I mean, his receivers are more experienced. Statistically, I don't know that he's a whole lot different than he has been. But clearly he's played more and he's more comfortable with what they're doing, I guess.
One game doesn't make a hot streak by any means, but are you seeing things out of Justin Moore, either in the games and in practice, that are indicating that he's figuring some things out?
Well, I thought he kicked better. He made a couple of nice field goals Thursday night, and he's kicked well in practice for the most part. So it's he took it over to the field from the practice on Thursday, and that was positive.
Well, when a big goal is off the table, like going to the ACC championship game, is there any need to remind these guys, hey, there's still plenty out there to be had? You can still win 10 games, which hasn't happened here very often, things like that?
It's happened exactly 3 times in 50 years. Yeah, that's one of the things that I talked to them about. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to play for. Every team that played probably had the goal to get to the ACC championship game, and out of 12, there's only 2 going to get there. So, when that goal goes off the board, I mean, you don't quit. You compete, and you try to do the best you can do. So certainly this team could accomplish a lot. If they could win 10 games, like I said, it'd be the 4th time in 50 years, I think.
Coach, Orwin got just 4 carries the other day, and I know you always say it just depends on how they're playing and all that, but is there any desire by you to get him some more touches?
I think if you probably watched the game, you realize he didn't play in the second half. He got hurt. Yeah. It's hard to get it to him when he's over there with us. He just got hurt. He played a little bit, I think, in the third quarter, and that was pretty much it. He went down. We'll see. If we had to play today, he wouldn't be.
So I know that you tend to go with 3 guys down the stretch of A back. I guess with the Warren situation, do you give Tony more work this week to get him ready, or
He's
do you
been
look at
getting
other
work
guys?
in practice. I mean, those guys all get reps. So if Orwin doesn't play, then certainly Tony will play. Probably Deion Hill will get to play some. Maybe Robbie Godhigh. It'll just be situational. Embry will probably move up and be the starter, and then those guys will roll in. I don't know that Orwin's not going to play. I don't think it's a serious injury, but if we had to play today, he probably couldn't play.
Coach, after Jeremiah's penalty the other day, there obviously was a big change on both sides of the ball. Is that something that these guys can learn from? I mean, maybe it's not a surprise the defense struggled. That was pretty much, other than those first 2 Virginia Tech possessions, start to finish in that game, he couldn't get a beat on them. But the offense also went dry after that penalty, too. 3 drives went 9 yards, -5, -3 after that. Did that have an emotional effect on the entire team?
Well, it might have. And sometimes I think it can be misleading. After that drive, the first plays we came out and we had 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, and that's when we didn't make it on 4th down. The very next drive, I think that we were down 8 and we had to start throwing the ball, and we got sacked a couple of times. So, after the first drive on 4th down, and we kind of got away from what we had to do. We were down, 8 points. We thought we could hit a pass on 1st down, play action. We didn't hit it. So we kind of got behind the curve a little bit, and we ended up, I think on 3rd down we slipped and fell, got sacked. And then the last series was just 1 minute. I mean, it was trying to throw the ball. So the nature of talking, too, about like when Orwin with carries, I mean, I think we ran 60 plays in the game. And a good part of those plays were, I can't remember exactly, but off the top of my head, but, probably 6 of them were at the end of the first half with 44 seconds left. The other, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 7 or 8 was at the last 2 minutes in the 1 minute drill. So you're talking about 44 plays. So not a lot of plays, which is what happens when you run the ball and the other team runs the ball successfully. Not a ton of possessions.
Coach, I was wondering, with the Thursday night game and then following it up now with the game on Saturday, how does that change your preparations for the week?
We're back on schedule. We're right back on regular schedule.
You mentioned talking to the team about the 10 wins and getting to that.
I want to make clear what I talked about was that's out there. We talked about trying to win 8 games. That's what we need to do. We need to beat Duke. That's out there in front of them, but that's not the focus. The focus needs to be Duke, because otherwise it won't be pretty.
Cuts my legs out of motion, but I mean, you haven't talked to them about a bowl game or setting your sights.
Talked about the position for a bowl game, and we need to beat Duke. That's the next game. If you want to keep yourself in position for a higher pegged bowl game, then you need to win. So it's important that way.
After the tough loss like the Tech loss, is there something you do that the next couple of practices to get morale back up again, kind of get some positive things going again, positive thoughts going?
We haven't. We didn't yesterday. I don't know that that's been a problem here. Clearly, if I thought it was an issue, we would try to do something. But I haven't seen that as a problem, really.
Who'll start for Jeremiah?
Depends on the package and what we're doing. More than likely, Brandon Watts. Could be Malcolm Monroe. Those 2 guys both played for him when he was hurt.
Could you analyze a little bit just how the play of the B-backs and the production you got from that position this year?
It hasn't been the production that we would have liked, but I don't think it's necessarily all the B-backs. I think that's a function of a lot of things. It's a little bit of a misnomer to me. It's the first time in a long, long time at a couple of schools that we haven't had more production out of that. So I think when it's all said and done, we'll look and evaluate and see if we can come to some conclusions. I haven't seen any real gaping holes that they failed to run through. We haven't had a lot of big plays out of that position. I think that we've probably, when the season is over, we'll go back and look and see, and I'm just off the top of my head. I don't think we've run as many plays this year as we normally have either. It'd be interesting to check and see.
Coach, I know after the game on Thursday, we talked to a couple of the defensive players, and they used words such as embarrassing for what happened with on a couple of the runs by Logan Thomas. Have you seen kind of a renewed focus or a different attitude maybe by the players this week that they have something to prove against Duke?
Well, we'll see this week. I mean, we've had one practice on Monday, and that was more of a conditioning, cleanup, introduction. So we'll see how it goes this week. You would certainly hope that guys are going to come back with a little edge and want to get that taste out of their mouth. I hope so.
I guess how much, do these final 3 games influence setting up momentum for next year and building the team up and kind of that aspect of it?
I'm not worried about next year. I'm worried about this year. I mean, we still got 3 games left to play. So in a sport where you only play 13 games, you still got almost 25% of your games left. So you finish out. I mean, depending on what happens, you use things to try to motivate these guys. It would I think there have only been 12 teams at Georgia Tech won 8 games in the last 50 years. These guys got a chance to do something that doesn't happen every week. I mean, sometimes we reinvent history, but, I mean, they can be up there with some of the better teams.
I guess that one of the frustrating things, a lot of people, you jump out to the fast start after a lot of people didn't pick you guys to finish that highly in the league. Then you lose some games, and then people jump off the bandwagon, and then people jump back on after you beat Clemson. Is it kind of one of those things where you get frustrated with how, I guess, outsiders look at it?
No, not really. I mean, that's part of it. You do what you can do, and you control what you can control. I mean, fans are fans, and they have every right to voice their opinion. It's like I've said before. It's as long as you win once a week, you're okay. If you don't win once a week, then it's not going to be okay, and that's fine. I mean, that's their prerogative. That's what fans do, and it's not any different anywhere. It's the same pretty much every place.
To that end, obviously, if you look at the schedule, you've lost 3 of the last 4. But is that a way of describing?
It could be, or you could say you won 6 of the first 6, or you can take those numbers and do whatever you want with them. Let's see, 3 of the last 4 we played at Miami. We played the number 5 team in the country, the number 10 team in the country. So you can do with it whatever you want. I mean, that's the beauty of statistics, I guess. To me, I'd be more concerned if we lost to teams with losing records. There's a lot of teams that lost to Virginia Tech. I can think of at least 9 others.